Hello and welcome. Welcome to Becoming Whole with Denise. I'm Denise Deelvaart, and whether this is your very first coffee chat or maybe you've joined me before, I am so glad you're here. So go and grab yourself a coffee, a tea, a wine, a cocktail, a beer, whatever you're drinking today, and let's spend a few minutes together. Every week we have an honest conversation about life. Yeah, about life. You know, the things that we don't often say out loud, even to ourselves. And also the conversations that make us stop and think. So, what are we chatting about today? I received a message this week that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. It came from a beautiful widow who has followed me for years and years and years. And her husband died over 8 years ago. Her life has moved on, and she disappeared for a while. Then, out of the blue, she sent me a message. And this one sentence stopped me in my tracks. It literally floored me. She wrote, "I thought I could do it alone." I read that sentence a few times. I thought I could do it alone. Now, not because it surprised me, because I've heard so many different versions of that over the years. You know, sometimes it sounds like, "I don't want to be a burden," or "other people have enough on their plate," or "I'll be okay, I'm fine." And then sometimes we don't say anything at all. We just keep quiet and we just keep carrying on, soldiering on. And it really made me stop and think, when did carrying everything on our own become something that we are proud of? When did it become our badge of honor? And I don't think anybody sits down, not one of us sits down one day and decides, "Okay, well, from now on, I'm going to make my life a little harder for myself." We don't do that. It just happens, and it happens quietly. You know, you become the one that everyone relies on. You're the one who keeps it all together. You're the one who says, "I'm fine, I'm okay." And after a while, it becomes so normal for you that you forget that there is actually another way. This beautiful lady who wrote to me also said something else. And she said, "I've tried so many times to be hard and to be strong. I have tried so hard. I cannot be strong anymore." And that really stayed with me. Because I wonder if we've confused being strong with being silent. Just soldier on. My mother always used to say to me, "Denise, just soldier on. You'll be okay. Just soldier on." So we soldier on, we be silent, we don't say anything because we don't want to be a burden. We keep it to ourselves. And we think we're being strong. But what we're doing is actually diminishing ourselves to become silent. So being strong and being silent are absolutely not the same thing. Some of the strongest women I've ever met have been the ones who finally let go and said, "I need help. I need someone to talk to." Now that doesn't make them weak. It doesn't make them vulnerable. It makes them honest. Honest with themselves, not with anybody else but themselves. When I replied to her, I didn't send her a long message. I simply invited her to have a chat with me. Because sometimes the bravest thing we do isn't just soldiering on and carrying on and one foot in front of the other. Sometimes it's reaching out. Yeah? I've been thinking about that ever since. Not because it's true for women who are grieving. I think it's true for all of us. So many of us. We tend to think that grief is only comes with death or loss. But grief is something that happens to us in a silent way that we don't even realize that we're grieving. We carry things that nobody even knows we're carrying. Grief steals our life. And grief comes in many forms. It comes in the form of losing a loved one, obviously. That's the obvious one. Losing a pet. That's the obvious form of grief. Everybody can see you grieving. But one of my clients has a family estrangement. Her children have stopped talking to her, or two of her children have stopped talking to her. And she didn't realize that she was grieving their loss. She just thought she was in pain. But that's grief too. You're grieving the loss of their life you had together and the future you should have together. So, can I really leave you with one question today? And I want you to be honest with yourself. Write it down. Journal it if you have to. What are you carrying on your own? So where are you carrying on your own? Where are you soldiering on? Where you really don't need to do it alone. Where are you keeping quiet about how you are feeling? What are you carrying? What is that burden that you need to just put down and ask for help? And I'm not going to asking you to solve it all today. That's impossible. I just want you to think about it. Because that one sentence, I thought I could do it alone, has stayed with me all week. It really has. Because I thought I could do it alone after my husband died. Maybe that'll stay with you too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you find it easy to ask for help? Or do you tend to carry things on your own? Leave me a comment below. I promise I read every single one. And so many of my coffee chats begin with conversation we've had together. And if you'd like to join me next week for another coffee chat and another conversation, I'd love for you to subscribe. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you for another coffee chat.